foundation inspection. We're starting off on the left hand elevation, and we're going to be looking for anomalies in the foundation, things that give rise to problems in the future. This is a post-tension cable foundation. As such, it's very strong. In fact, it's malleable. That means it's flexible, it bends under loads, and that has one problem with that, is the bricks don't. So as the foundation moves, the bricks can crack. You've got a lot of vegetation here that needs to be cut back. That will cause problems. It allows insects and vermin onto the building. Okay, that's the rear elevation. Now let's go to the right. We're at the rear elevation now, still inspecting the foundation. There's a little bit of separation of the soil and the foundation here. As the soil dries out, it separates, and that can actually weaken the foundation at that point. Also allows water to undermine, it gets underneath it, so that needs to be closed up. You close it up by watering the grave. This foundation along here has been parged. Basically that's a skim of Portland cement over the top of the foundation to protect it. We have a post-tension cable head which is showing here. The parging has fallen away, it's very common. You reparge it, and you can buy a mixture of cement, hydraulic cement, Portland cement actually, and that will fill up that hole and protect the post-tension cable. Another one here. We're on the right elevation where these cable ends are starting to show. I'm at the left elevation, looking at the foundation at the front. Okay, so on the day of the inspection, the foundation on the outside was okay, apart from the right elevation where we had some post-tension cables showing. Grading, we're in Frisco. The grading here is pretty good. We're looking at a nice slope away from the building down to the swale, and a swale that drains both to the rear and to the front of the building here. We're looking for a drop of 6 inches in 10 feet, and we've got more than that, so the right elevation is good. On the front elevation we're fine. Just a comment to the future owners that these beds, these flowers beds here, can actually trap moisture and water. And you'll see that there's been some drains installed here. Make sure they don't get blocked, because you can get rising water pressure around the foundation on these type of beds. But there's no reason to suspect there's any problem here at the moment. So the slope away from the building is good. On the front elevation, let's look at the left side before we go to the backyard. Again, we've got a good grading sloping away. We're at the right elevation of the building. We've got good slope away from the foundation, and the backyard has good drainage around it. Yeah, it's a good idea. This is a roof inspection. What we're looking at is the flashings and the general condition of the shingles. And we're looking that the flashings have been correctly installed, which they had. They're inset into the brickwork. Now this is going to be a partial roof inspection. It's too steep to walk on a lot of the roof, but I will walk on the bits that are safe to do so. These are the flues. They're okay. Corked, sealed, but there's a bit of a damaged shingle here, just there. The attic inspection, what we're looking for is issues with the attic. The framing is pretty good in this attic compared with what I see on an average day. Doesn't mean to say it's perfect, but it's not the worst I've seen in recent times. Now around here we have big issues. These flexible pipes, this one in particular is unsupported. This one has a little bit of support, but it's irregular. Should have a support every 3 foot or so. This one's okay, that runs up to the upper attic. We'll look at that, and we'll look at the manifold. It's fine. So I call out things like that because it's a safety issue when I'm in the attic. We have a trip hazard in the attic here. We've got cables, media cables running down these steps. They're draped across here, designed to catch, trip and injure somebody coming to work in the attic, so they can go and sue you for lots and lots of money. I recommend that they are secured and it's not run over the steps. We're in the upper attic now. We have a reasonable covering of insulation. We have it varies. It should be around 10 inches, it's not. It's 5 to 10. People have been out here and have disturbed it. This gas cable is running over and is resting on a ducting. That's a complete no-no. That's got to be supported. And as I say, it should have a support every 3 foot or so. And that should be not supported by ducting as it is here. That's quite dangerous. Major cause of fires in North Texas is leaking gas lines. Right elevation. Again, we're inspecting for exterior issues with the walls. This window, there's a steel lintel and it should have weep holes over the lintel. It's all looking pretty good actually. Yeah, cause it to rust. We're at the front elevation. Again, we're looking at the walling system. There's multiple windows. In fact, all the windows are missing weep holes over the lintels. They need to be installed. Very easy to do. All you need is a 1/2 inch drill through the mortar above the lintel in a couple of places, and you've got your weep holes. Now these are columns and they've got lumber inside the column. As such, they should have weep holes at the base, and they don't. So all columns on the front porch require weep holes installing. We're at the front left elevation. Okay, let's go and do the rear. We're at the left elevation. Again, we have windows with steel lintels and no weep holes. This is the air conditioning unit for the ground floor. It's currently running. We have insulation on the pipework. All looks in good condition. This is the AC unit compressor for the upper floor. That is off. We've actually turned the heating on. Now, If you look down the side of the fins here, they're really blocked up with debris. That's well worth cleaning out. It'll increase the efficiency of the unit. So that's on the smaller unit. This unit is in okay condition. Main electrical panel, what we're looking at is the breakers and the circuitry, and the wire sizes and its general condition and wiring. Down here we have the grounding bar. And we have a floating neutral, and we have a direct ground here. This is a sub panel. Have a floating neutral in here and a ground. This is incorrectly wired. This ground here, this grounding bar here, should be connected to this buzz bar, this neutral bar. So we've now got the ground and the neutral wired together. This should be wired with the ground and the neutral floating, actually separated. Okay, so this side it should be bonded, this side it's not bonded. The reason we do that is, as it is at the moment, we have two paths for an stray electrical current, say from a lightning storm, to get back into the building. There's nothing to stop it. If we had it bonded, the ground and the neutral bonded, then we separate the two paths. We've only got one path. Wow, that is so unusual. Main electrical panel to the house. I have a Frisco building inspection certificate out here. I tell you right away that it doesn't have arc fault detectors. They weren't fitted at the time. No arc fault detectors. Let's go and have a look at the grounding bar. They have, if it's got an arc fault detector, they have a little white button here that you push it to test it. Yeah.
Same with the other.
Same, yes, exactly, yes. So around here, we've got our... Okay, this is the grounding bar. And I give it a good kick. And I do that because every now and again I kick them and it comes apart. Oh, it comes off. Because what they've done is they've put in a 4 or 5 inch bar to make it look like there's a grounding bar there. And let's look at the meter. That's okay. It's good around there. I've been carrying out a wall and floor inspection. There's little or no movement in the structure, just seasonal contraction, or a wall pop, ceiling pop there, nail pop, and a little bit of cracking there. We're in the front bedroom. Checked over the top of all doors and there's no cracking in the sheetrock. A couple of nail pops there, and a little bit of cracking in the corner. Overall the property is in good condition, little or no movement other than seasonal expansion and contraction due to the weather. The building is stable on its foundation.